Hey, what's up, folks? This is Jonathan Coast, and in today's copywriting tutorial, I'm going to share with you a chapter from a book called Applied Business Correspondence by Herbert Watson. And this book came out in about 1940-ish, so it's pretty old, but the principles are rooted in direct response, so they still apply today and are extremely relevant. And this particular chapter is called How to Grip Your Reader's Attention. And I'm going to talk about a few different letters because it talks about how to transition seamlessly from the headline, how to grip their attention, not just attract it, and then get into the main idea of your message that you're trying to convey to the reader. And with this, I'm also going to share with you an additional bonus tool, two of them actually, that are headline generators. So all you really got to do, no matter what market you're in, you can just put your main keyword in here and then it will give you 700 plus titles at the click of a button. So not all of them are perfect, so you just go through, scroll, and then find about 25 or so that apply directly to what it is that you're talking about. You choose one, make sure that you fix any type of grammatical errors, and then you're good to go from there. So I'll share with you two different tools here, but first let's get into Applied Business Correspondence. So if you don't know, you can actually find this book on archive.org. I'll leave it in the description below. So what I like about this is it starts the chapter off by saying and answering the question that's on most readers' minds up until this point is, you may be wondering why that they took so long to get to the point of how to make your letters grip attention. And it says it right here. It is because most letters do not require a studied method of attracting the reader. For all letters written to answer inquiries, for all letters written to regular customers or ordinary subjects, for all letters written to present claims, to pay bills, to explain, to adjust, to acknowledge, and to record, even for many important letters written to sell goods or to collect money, the letter itself is enough. And it's saying here that, in fact, for 90% and perhaps more of the individual letters written or dictated in business, a properly addressed envelope and a postage stamp will ensure that the attention of the person is addressed. And they're saying that the big job for most of us lies in expressing the idea and getting it understood or believed or acted upon. That's like when you spend the majority of your attention on, that's like the load of the work. But since we are now here, we got our main idea created. We've assembled our sales letter. We have everything that we need in the body of the letter. We got the video. We got all the elements needed. Now we can focus on the headline or whatever it takes to grip the reader's attention. So that's basically what it's saying here. So what I want to share with you after he basically explains why it's so important to have your letter and all of your content created first before you create your headline. He says that you notice that he says grip the receiver's attention, not attract it. So you want to think well of the distinction is what he's saying here, that because it's going to have an important part and to play in a kind of opening that we're going to learn to plan for our letter. And we don't want our letters to merely just attract attention. We want to grip the attention of our readers. So a poorly written or poorly spelled letter or a musty soiled stationery or even a bizarre rainbow colored letterhead might attract attention. An applicant for a job might attract an employer's attention by appearing in a clown suit, but gripping attention requires holding it and controlling it. That is what we want our letters to do. Hence, the method by which we attract must be harmonious with the idea our letter conveys, or else the attention attracted will not be gripped but later be repelled. And it's just like if you're watching a YouTube video, if you see a headline or if you see the thumbnail and it causes you to click, and then the video doesn't really, it's not really congruent with what what was in the thumbnail, or it's like something totally irrelevant, that's going to make you go away and you won't even think twice about it. You just move on, you go on with your life. So that's what he means here. You want to grip the reader's attention rather than attract it. So he gives a cool example on the next page here, and I'm just going to go over this with you real quick. So but before I get into it, let me just read what he says beforehand. He says that on the next page is a letter which falls into the second class of letters that he mentioned, that is one of the last letters of a follow-up series. Notice the thumbprint near the top of the letter, and it warned that you were tempted to say that getting attention by means of a thumbprint is a freakish way of attracting instead of gripping attention. And so it would be to believe in most cases, but study this letter because we're going to see how the thumbprint on the letter sheet blends with the thumbprint feature of the idea. So what he's saying is basically the thumbprint here is going to have a seamless transition. From the outside looking in, it does look kind of like, gimmicky, but when you actually read the letter, it makes perfect sense, and it's like a nice seamless transition that actually complements it rather well. And so that's basically what he's getting at here. So instead of being annoyed by having your attention attracted by the thumbprint because the idea of the letter is totally unconnected with the means of attracting your attention, you find a logical development of the attention getter into the idea. So, and then he also talks about how on pages 404 and 405, basically these letters here And I'm not going to really go over these. I just want to talk about this one right here. But they do kind of the same thing. They have like a very attractive statement, a bold claim in the main header here. And you can pause this video to kind of read what I'm talking about. And then they back it up, and then they end it really well. So let's go ahead and go over this. So it starts off by saying this is a national lead company. This is before they stopped taking lead out of paint. This is a very long time ago. So just keep that in mind, that this is like in the 30s and the 40s. So it starts off by saying, Mr. Williams, Chicago the 3rd. Dear sir, smudgy fingerprints similar to this one soon appear on interior walls. Every year, owners of buildings pay out thousands of dollars to have these and other unsightly marks covered over by paper or paint, because paper and many paints will not stand washing. White leaded walls, tinted or white, are washable. Lukewarm water and mild soap will clean, freshen, and sanitate them without injuring even the most delicate finish. Frequent painting is considered unnecessary. Right there is $1 saving reason why you should have your architect specify Dutch boy white lead throughout walls as well as woodwork for the apartment house that is being built for you at 1210 Franklin Avenue. Another reason, equally as important, is that Dutch boy white leaded walls do not chip off or crack. The paint dries hard, but is still sufficiently elastic not to break. Moreover, paint made of Dutch boy white lead excels in beauty of finish, whether flat or gloss. It costs no more per gallon, it spreads farther and covers better, and it lasts longer. Yours very truly, National Lead Company. P.S. We maintain a staff of paint specialists whose entire time is devoted to owners who have paint problems or who desire color suggestions. It will be a pleasure to assist you in any way without obligation on your part. If necessary, we will send you a representative to consult you. So you see how smooth of a transition that was and how that thumbprint made sense, not only just at the top right here, but how he used that as a reason and justification to get into why the readers should get lead paint, because they can attract that all of their walls if they don't, right? So it's a really good transition. I wanted to share that with you. So what I want to talk about real quick before I get into the headline generators, he uses this analogy here with this race. So he talks about how he traveled down the Mississippi River, and there happened to be but a few passengers on the boat, and the captain let us amuse themselves with the searchlight in the evenings. So as we swung its rays over the shore, every once in a while at the very edge of the light would appear some objects that looked alive. Immediately we would turn the full glare of the light on that object. Sometimes we would find something alive and interesting. Other times we would discover that our attention had been attracted by only a light-covered bush or an inanimate object, and then would swing our rays forward again. Always we hunted for something alive to be picked up, and that's what he means by attention. So the constant sweeping of the searchlight's rays as we went down the river typifies to me that the attention of the normal human mind. With its rays, it is continuously sweeping the skyline of life for indications of something worth turning its concentrated light upon. So, for instance, a man sits at a window apparently looking at nothing. 10 men pass it, and he hardly sees them. The 11th comes along, and something about the 11th makes the man at the window think of a soldier. He's interested in soldiers, and he stops his attention, his searchlight, and turns his full light on that man. So, like, if you think about it, and then he also, on the next page, right here, he says, now the 10 men who passed unnoticed very likely didn't care for the observer's notice, but that isn't true about the 10% of our letters. They need and want the receiver's notice. We want him to stop and turn the full glare of his attention on them. Therefore, in writing letters which are planned to attract the reader's attention, we must devise something that will stick up from the ideas in those letters into the range of one of the reader's attention rays and attract and stop his attention as it swings along. So as you can see here on this next page here, he uses this same ray light. The big idea of your letter is here, and you have an attention stopper as a flag. So this is the reader's attention, and you got this, hey, check this out. So what he's basically saying up to this point is, you want that big idea of your letter to be congruent with the attention stopper, but you want to make sure that you have this content taken care of first, then focus on this and make sure this is a seamless transition. Because if it isn't, you might have their attention, but if it isn't incongruent with what you use to stop there to get to attract their attention in the first place, then you're going to be repelled and keep going. So yeah, I really wanted to share that with you. That's from Applied Business Correspondence, and I'll go ahead and link this in the description. It's from archive.org. So let's talk about the headline generator. Now, the reason why I want to share this with you is because it can save you a lot of time, and I'm actually going to start using it myself. But all you gotta really do is just put whatever your market's main key phrase in, and you put it in the search bar. And for instance, I'm just going to use fishing equipment as if I'm in the fishing niche. Just type in fishing equipment, and then you click on Get Headlines. And with one click, you can get up to 700 headline. So let's just go ahead and scroll down. So as you can see, best make fishing equipment you will read this year. So all you gotta really do is just make tweaks and edit these. A lot of them are you're gonna read this and not gonna make much sense. You really just gotta just take them and use the ones that apply to you and what you're doing or what your content piece is about, and then just make the changes from there. But like for an example, the best fishing equipment guide or article that you will read this year. 7 rules about fishing equipment meant to be broken. The fishing equipment mystery revealed. You can thank us later. 3 reasons to stop thinking about fishing equipment. Proof that fishing equipment is exactly what you're looking for. So as you can see, this goes on and on and on. This is an extremely valuable website, and I'm going to link this one in the description as well. And another one I want to share with you, it has the same kind of concept. You just put a key phrase in, and it'll spit out a bunch of headlines. They also have a small business trends thesaurus that you can check out, and I'll link both of these in the description. And you can use both of these websites, the headline generator, the small business trends thesaurus, that you can use to generate even more ideas. So I'll link these in the description. You can use these to just spit out a bunch of different headlines, and you want to take the ones that you find to be relevant to your market or your content piece, and make sure that your content is congruent with the headline. And you can use these to attract your readers' attention, and you can use your content to grip it. All right. So yeah, that'll pretty much be it for this video. I hope you enjoy it. And just to recap, we basically just talk about how to grip the reader's attention versus attracting it. And also we use the analogy of the searchlight rays, how it's always like constantly scanning for something interesting. And as soon as it locks on, if it finds that what it's looking at is interesting enough and is congruent for what stopped them in the first place, they're going to stay there and keep their raised lights on there. And if it's not, they're going to carry on with their business without even thinking twice. And then also I share with you these couple of different tools here that you can use to generate hundreds of different ideas that you can for any type of market that you're in when you're creating a promotion piece, or you're just making an article, or even a YouTube video. All right. So yeah, that'll pretty much be it. I hope you enjoy. If you like content like this, then I highly recommend that you check out my website in the description, jonathancoast.net. I talk about everything when it comes to increasing sales and generating traffic. And also be sure to check out the tools and the resources below. I have the book Apply Business Correspondence and these different headline generators here. And with that said, I will see you in the next video. See you then.